And you got the script that I wrote? Grab the script.
I've been meaning to speak to you about this. I can't read these words. They're not in the right order.
It's good.
I think you might be dyslexic, bro. I'm not reading this. I'm gonna.
No, please,
I
read
think
it.
you might be dyslexic.
Read the script once.
Okay, you want me to read the script?
Yes.
All right.
And action.
I'll read the words you wrote. Hello, fellow American. This you should vote. Me. I leave power. Good. Thank you. Thank you. If you vote me, I'm hot. What? Taxes. They'll be lower. Son. The Democratic vote for me is right thing to do, Philadelphia. So do. This doesn't make any sense.
All right, well then, just say whatever you want. The battery's dead.
There's a law of writing. You can't write a character that's smarter than you. And boy, is it true. You see, I love a smart character. I think it's one of the coolest things when written correctly in a story. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm super smart. I'm not, which is why when I watch a show or read a story with a genuinely smart character, my tiny brain is blown away. So let's talk about the fundamental question: what makes a character actually smart? To me, the hallmark of a well-written, smart character is when they are able to solve a problem with previously introduced information or elements. When a character can solve a problem with the information available to the audience, it really shows how smart they are because you had access to the same information they did and you couldn't solve it. I think a show that does this really well is Attack on Titan. Specifically, I think the character of Erwin is written to be smart in a realistic way. One consistent thing that the show does well is not adding any new element to the situation when Erwin solves a problem. Whenever he solves a problem, he does so with the information provided and with the tools provided, which is why when he does something really smart, you find yourself thinking that you should have thought of that. I actually think it makes the show so much more compelling and interesting because whenever there is a problem presented, you can actually solve it, which keeps you so much more engaged as an audience. Here's a perfect example from the end of Season 3. Okay, so at the end of Season 3, the Scouts are surrounded by Titans with their backs literally against the wall. Erwin is in charge of a bunch of new recruits, horses, Levi, who's very good at fighting, and himself. The enemy Titans are throwing rocks through the houses in front of them, and will eventually level those houses and throw those rocks at everybody else and kill everyone on their side. The enemy Titans are standing in an open field with nothing for the Scouts to shoot their ODM gear into. How does he solve this? Not by introducing some piece of information that the audience had no clue about, but by using the pieces available on the board. Specifically, by running all the recruits into their own death as a distraction and then having Levi go around the side, killing the Titans and riding them until he gets to the big guy and fights him. I think a show that demonstrates quote-unquote smart characters that actually aren't smart is Death Note. This show was recommended to me because it was supposed to be this high IQ, thrilling ride, and I did enjoy the show, but it is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The plots in this show are so convoluted that I'm not even going to waste your time explaining it. Essentially, the characters are so smart that they have a superpower, essentially, and I call it the superpower principle, which is when a writer essentially writes a character that's so smart that we're not even on Earth regarding their capabilities. And I think the scene that encapsulates this is this one.
I can see the wheels turning, Light Yagami. I'm already in your head.
There's no way this tennis match will deepen our friendship. This is a token gesture, an elaborate act we'll go through so we can say we're closer.
Because I wanted to play tennis with you, you'll assume that I'm preparing to take a step closer, laying the groundwork to get to know you better.
And then you're going to try and trap me by getting me to say something that only Kira would know.
However, I'm sure you'll tell me you need to know if you can trust me first. And of course, the only way to win your trust will be to share what I know about Kira.
If you want me to discuss Kira with you, it only makes sense that I'd want to ask for proof that you are in charge of the investigation, and more importantly, that you are really ill as you say you are.
So it goes without saying that the first thing you're going to want from me is...
some kind of confirmation from a third party that you really are L, which means...
We'll have to go to Task Force headquarters.
This isn't two 5,000 IQ geniuses squaring off. These are two Redditors arguing. Having characters endlessly predict and counter-predict the future is not genius intellect, it's a superpower. But it is what people think genius intellect is on TV. It's a fun show that I enjoy, but I refuse to call it a smart show. I think I can make this even more crystal clear. Imagine if the Death Note author wrote the end of Season 3 for Attack on Titan. This is what it would be. The scouts ride in are surrounded. Oh no! Don't worry though, turns out Erwin is so smart he actually predicted they would get trapped and surrounded, and he actually predicted that the enemy Titans would throw stones, and 6 months earlier had his scientist friend invent a long-range sniper rifle to shoot the enemy Titans, and he also rigged the ground with secret explosives right underneath the enemy Titan because he was so smart that he knew exactly where he'd be standing, and there's no prior scene of him talking to the scientists or setting anything up. And we as an audience learn this information right when it's convenient for him because he's so smart. Look at how smart this character is in. Look at this genius writing. He predicted the entire situation. Okay, I could go on and on with a million tiny examples like this, but I swear, once you see my point, you can no longer enjoy so many shows because you realize that what's being called smart is really just a plot convenience that the writers are pulling out of their ass. And I think it really devalues the writers who really do try and make their characters smart in an authentic way. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm a fickle person and I needed it to be known.
Coming down, I heard on the radio, looks like the Jets are going to grab that kid from Tulsa, that tight end.
We still get those season tickets, Big Brother?
All I know is you never had the makings of a varsity athlete.
Oh, son of a bitch!
What?
Did I just tell you not to say that again?
Say what?
You don't like the way I talk? Get out of my house.
Here we go. Tony?
Now, Tony, shit. Get your coat, we're leaving.
Thanks for watching, and God bless.